A hip-hop star signed to one of the industry's most loyal labels allegedly pulled a weapon on his own mentor inside a crowded Dallas studio, triggering events that changed everything. In April 2026, federal agents arrested a rapper tied to the 1017 empire across 3 cities. The twist: the alleged victim was the very legend who launched his career. On April 2nd, U.S. Attorney Ryan Rebell revealed that 9 men, including 2 prominent rappers, faced federal charges of kidnapping and conspiracy. One of the alleged victims was Radrick Davis, better known as Gucci Mane, the same man who signed Lontrell Williams Jr., known globally as Pooh Shiesty, to his 1017 imprint, the same mentor who publicly welcomed him home after his federal sentence in October 2025, praising him on Instagram as a real one. Just months later, their relationship had allegedly imploded. 8 of the 9 defendants were arrested on April 1st, 2026 across Dallas, Memphis, and Nashville. The coordinated takedown left no time for anyone to flee. The list included Pooh Shiesty, his father Lontrell Williams Sr., and a known affiliate, Rodney Wright Jr., also known as Big 30. On the very day the Department of Justice made its announcement, Gucci Mane went live on Instagram. What he said, or more accurately, what he refused to say, became the most talked about moment of the entire saga. He acknowledged that something had happened on January 10th. He didn't deny the incident, but he told his millions of followers he was not cooperating with federal authorities. "I don't believe in telling police nothing." That was his message. No detailed breakdown of the chaos. No confirmation of signing anything under pressure. No mention of high-end watches or jewelry reportedly stolen. Just silence. A deliberate and public refusal to assist prosecutors in building a case against his own artist. In street vernacular, that silence spoke volumes. To understand why, you have to consider the backdrop. Gucci Mane had returned from his own federal bid, rebuilt his mental and physical health, and resurrected 1017 records from the ground up. He discovered Pooh Shiesty when he was still an unknown talent from Memphis and transformed him into one of the most aggressive new voices the city had produced. Gucci stood behind him throughout his incarceration. Yet, less than 3 months after Pooh walked out of a halfway house, the narrative flipped completely. According to federal documents, Pooh allegedly aimed an AK-style pistol at Gucci inside a Dallas studio, forcing him to sign a contract release at gunpoint. So when Gucci declared on Instagram Live that he wasn't cooperating, he wasn't just avoiding a snitch label, he was sending a direct message to Pooh. "I'm not the reason you're going back." The unspoken sentiment resonated deeply within hip-hop culture. The timing was critical. Gucci didn't wait days for a polished PR statement or let attorneys filter his words. He spoke live the same afternoon the DOJ held its press conference. This wasn't a calculated media strategy. It was a real-time decision, broadcast to millions, reflecting a man choosing loyalty over personal comfort. Meanwhile, a 9th defendant, Terrence Rogers, remained at large at the time. Federal agents were actively searching for him, and prosecutors hoped public exposure would aid in his capture. The case was moving forward regardless of victim cooperation, but to understand how things deteriorated so dramatically, you have to rewind to when the bond between mentor and artist was genuine. The story didn't begin with violence. It began with a gift. When Gucci Mane signed Pooh Shiesty to 1017 Records in 2020, he presented him with a customized slime green Jeep Trackhawk fitted with 1017 rims. The gesture symbolized belief and investment. Gucci wasn't treating Pooh like a disposable streaming statistic. He saw him as a long-term asset. Gucci discovered Pooh after hearing a viral track and acted immediately. No bidding war, no industry politics, just instinct. He recognized raw Memphis drill talent and moved fast. Then came the breakout hit Back in Blood, featuring Lil Durk. Released in late 2020, the song became a nationwide phenomenon, amassing hundreds of millions of streams and cementing Pooh's place in the rap industry. Gucci remained hands-on throughout the rollout, overseeing visuals, release timing, and promotion. On February 5th, 2021, Pooh released his debut mixtape, Shiesty Season, under 1017 and Atlantic Records. Gucci even appeared on the track Ugly, reinforcing their partnership. The project debuted strongly and eventually earned platinum status. After his release from prison, Pooh reflected on Gucci's influence during an XXL interview. He spoke not just about music, but about Gucci's transformation after federal time, the discipline, focus, and reinvention. Gucci had offered him real guidance, telling him, "You're seeing this at 20 what I saw at 35. Use that advantage." That wasn't just business, that was mentorship. Throughout Pooh's incarceration, from his 2022 sentencing to his early release in 2025, Gucci kept his name alive. He posted posted encouraging messages and maintained his position on the label. In October 2024, Gucci trimmed his roster, retaining only 2 artists, Pooh Shiesty and Foogiano. Pooh stayed. When he returned home in October 2025, Gucci celebrated publicly, posting, "The main slime is back. Welcome home to a real one." Days later, he confirmed Pooh was still signed and expressed excitement about future collaborations. In December 2025, Pooh released FDM under the 1017 banner. Everything appeared stable, but beneath the surface, trouble was brewing. The label had suffered devastating losses. Big Scar died from an overdose in December 2022. Enchanting passed away in June 2024. Hot Boy West received a lengthy prison sentence. Foogiano faced serious legal troubles. The once thriving roster had been decimated. Gucci's decision to stand by Pooh carried immense weight. He was betting the future of 1017 on him. That context reframes everything. Pooh's return wasn't just a comeback, it was the label's last major hope. But while Gucci saw opportunity, Pooh may have seen leverage. At the heart of the conflict was a contract signed in 2020, before Pooh's rise to stardom. Unlike sports contracts that expire with time, music deals are based on deliverables. Time spent incarcerated doesn't fulfill album obligations. The clock freezes. When Pooh returned home, he was still bound to 1017 records. Yet his value had skyrocketed. Back in Blood had gone multi-platinum, and his market worth had multiplied. Industry reports suggested both sides attempted renegotiation in late 2025. Discussions covered royalties, marketing budgets, advances, creative control, and master ownership. Initially professional, negotiations stalled by December. What happens when an artist's perceived worth clashes with the terms of a contract signed before fame? That gap became a canyon. Resentment may have grown during Pooh's incarceration. Whether or not financial support fell short, the perception alone could have fueled frustration. Locked behind bars, he may have felt sidelined while the industry moved forward. Speculation also swirled around Yo Gotti, Gucci Mane's longtime rival. In interviews, Pooh mentioned both Gucci and Yo Gotti among those who supported him during his incarceration, adding intrigue to the narrative. Ultimately, the contract made walking away nearly impossible. That pressure likely set the stage for the January 10th meeting in Dallas. The location mattered. According to the US Department of Justice, the meeting took place in a Dallas studio where Pooh Shiesty was serving home confinement. What seemed neutral was effectively his turf. Gucci Mane and his team flew in. Pooh was already there. 3 men entered expecting business. Federal prosecutors allege they walked into a coordinated armed takeover. Authorities claim Pooh brandished an AK-style pistol, forcing a contract release, while accomplices displayed firearms and stole Rolex watches, jewelry, and cash. One victim was reportedly choked unconscious. Big 30 allegedly blocked the exit, and investigators say Pooh's father helped organize the operation. The fatal flaw? Pooh's ankle monitor placed him at the scene. Cell records, surveillance footage, rental documents, fingerprints, and social media posts built a powerful case. The Federal Bureau of Investigation treated it as a federal priority. On April 2nd, 2026, prosecutors made their stance clear. Gucci came for business. He was met with guns, an airtight case, a shattered alliance, and an ankle monitor that sealed the narrative.